I have talked about it before of having hobbies and things like that to try to beat your depression or at least keep it at bay. And I decided to try doing a different type of video and kind of an experiment and see how it goes. And I have a special guest here to help me with my experiment. So if you give me 1 second, this is one thing that keeps me occupied, keeps me busy, keeps me happy, and I'd like to share her with you. So without further ado, this is Sonic. Sonic is she's ready to fall asleep. It's almost 7 o'clock. Sonic is my about a year old bearded dragon. I also have Echo, who's a little over a year, but you don't put those two together because he gets one, he even sees them and he starts to go crazy. And then I have Java, who's about 7 months or so, and she's too crazy to bring out. But I decided to bring out Sonic, and Sonic is a sweetheart. Um, she's over a pound. She's the biggest of them all. She likes to eat, just like any other female. I know that sounds sexist, but whatever. I don't really care about that. But I decided to do a few things. Um, Try standing up video and trying to have an accomplice. No, something. I wanted to bring my golden retriever, but if you tell her to sit or you give her any commands, she thinks you're yelling at her. So I didn't want it to look like I abuse her. But bearded dragons they're very, very nice animals to have as pets because they're once they get about this age, a little bit younger, they are very calm as long as you handle them on a regular basis. I'm turning this heater off because for some reason, although they are cold-blooded, if I sit like this with her and watch TV, I get really hot. She, for some reason, gets me really warm. Um, and right now she's nice and toasty warm because she's underneath um, her heat light. But they make wonderful animals. They do have large cages, like 5 foot by 3 foot by 2 foot. I believe the industry standard is 4 by 2 by 2, but she's got a super large cage. David built it for her, as well as building the other two. He's built quite a few. He's built some rabbit cages. I don't know why she thinks she can go up here, but they're bearded dragons. Their idea is get to the highest point possible. Plus, it's almost 7 o'clock to where that's lights out bedtime. So I don't know if I'm blurry. I don't know where she thinks she's going, but she looked like she was gonna fall asleep when I was holding her a little while ago, because they like to be cuddled, and that's true. That's most of them like to be. All the ones I've ever had did, except one. He was just mean. I adopted him from the pet store, and he did go back because he was so mean I couldn't feed him. And I found out about that after I adopted him, after I bought him, adopted him, and then wasn't allowed to get my money back. And yeah, that was bullshit. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to share her with you because if you have the room, say you have an apartment and you have a large room, maybe a 2 bedroom apartment or a big living room or what have you, and you have the room for a large cage, they're quiet, they don't make any noise, they are relatively clean and easy to clean up after. They are friendly. Java, my baby, I know in one of the videos I showed where she bit my lips right here and made me actually bleed because um, she thought when your mouth moves, they think it's food when they're babies, apparently. Because I had never gotten bit on purpose like that. Um, right. Sonic is a sweetheart. I've had them all since they were babies. Um, it's nice to start out, you know, having a baby because you can kind of train them the way you want. You give them a bath. You can train them to do all sorts of things. I've trained them to do stairs. I've trained them to go swimming in their own enclosure. I have trained them to. My golden retriever, the one I was going to have up here, she loves my bearded dragons. She will kiss them and they'll kiss her back. They have a thing for her. I wish I could turn her around, but she doesn't like. Certain ones don't mind being held certain ways, but she only likes to be held chest or body to body. Um, I don't know if she's falling asleep. I can't see on my monitor, it's too far away. But I brought her up because she's the one who's, I can't say the sweetest because my boy, he's really sweet too. But um, I brought her up because she's my girl too. They're all really sweet. I have 3 bearded dragons. I named them off. So I have 4 dogs and 3 cats. If I'd bring one of my cats up here, I don't think so. They're. It's not that they're not friendly. It's just trying to hold them. They don't especially like to be held. Only my black one, Sheba. But I thought I'd bring Sonic up because she was ready to fall asleep, and I figured she'd be nice and chill. And she is. She's being really good. Very rarely do they climb. Some of them I've seen. Oh, my one that passed away, she climbed on the top of my head because, like I said, they try to get to the highest spot possible. So I have pictures of me with Aspen, her name was, on the side of my head because she was trying to get to the highest point. But yeah, they like to be handled. They like to fall asleep on you when you're watching TV at night, and it's very relaxing to just have something nice. And they get warm. Um, they are cold-blooded. Um, if you don't mind holding, or I can't say handling bugs, but just you get used to it. I used to be like, ew, and try to use the tweezers and all that. So, but the point of my video is besides the different scenery, I mean, it's the same background, but to be standing up, to have a companion, to show you that depression can lead to isolation, but you can have, bearded dragons are like #1 in the reptiles. Besides leopard geckos, they're nice too, but they're a little more derpy. They're kind of dumb. And even any bearded dragon or leopard gecko owner will tell you that. I used to have 7, and they're just dumb. It sounds mean, but they're called derpy. Um, but even something as simple as a bearded dragon, you can go away for the weekend. You can go away for a week or longer and not have to worry about feeding them. They're very hardy. They're very, children can handle them. They very rarely bite. What happened in my situation? What are you doing? In my situation, I had help. I was holding her just like this, and I was going like this and feeding her mealworms out of my hand, and I wanted her to help me get their food ready, and I fed her 3 mealworms, and I went like this to see. I asked her for a kiss. You go, can I kiss? And they usually will lick your lip. And I did that, and she took a chomp out of my lip instead of giving me a kiss. It was very rude. I've never had a date that bad. Okay, maybe. But yeah, she actually got the top and the bottom and made me bleed. All of a sudden I'm feeling it, and I'm like, I'm bleeding. It was just a shocker. It's very rare that they bite. And if they bite, it's usually because they think if you move your finger like this, they think it's food. Because usually their food moves. So they usually, I don't know if she's falling asleep, I think so. But they make very nice pets. My computer again, like every time. I forgot to turn off my screensaver, so then it times out. But they make very nice pets because they're just easy to keep. Um, I mean, I never wormed any of my reptiles before. I didn't know about it until my vet, she told me about it. So I did some research on how to worm them myself, and I wormed them myself, and that went really good, except when Echo bit the tip off the syringe and ate the tip of the syringe. I was a little worried that he's got this piece of plastic in him, but if you'd see some of the sized bugs that they eat, a piece of plastic shouldn't hurt him. Um, but I'll try to practice maybe bringing Sasha, that's my golden retriever, bringing her up and mock videotaping with her, so you could see her, because she's beautiful and she's the love of my life next to David. Um, Maybe. She doesn't talk back. Oh, a little bit once in a while. But no, I just wanted you to see that depression has more than one side to it. Um, yeah, there's your moping around. I just got done sitting and watching some TV, and I'm like, I got up to go to the bathroom, and I'm like, it's dark out already. What the hell time is it? And it's after 6 o'clock, and I'm like, well, if she plans on going to bed, I think she's falling asleep. If she plans on going to bed at 7, I better get a move on. And yes, she's extremely fat. No, she's not supposed to be this fat. But I had gone to a breeder, and she had a male that was over 2 pounds, and I had to hold him because I had never seen a bearded dragon that big and that fat. And I don't know what she fed him. You can feed him pinky mice, but I don't. That's just the way. And you can't, you're not supposed to cohab them together. Um, and that's another thing about with my depression, what keeps me occupied. And for the past 3 plus years, 3 or 4 years, I do a lot of research on bearded dragons, on reptiles. Of course, mostly on bearded dragons. And that's where I get all my knowledge from. And it keeps you busy, it keeps your mind busy and occupied, on a subject that you want to know more about, because they can only eat certain things. They have to have certain lighting, certain, things. I think she's jumping because I'm patting her. Certain, you have to raise them a certain way, certain foods, um, and things like that. There's a lot to learn, and I've learned a lot, like I said, over 3 years, I think now. Um, I think it's over 3 years. And for me, I, I get into that. I enjoy reading, and learning. A lot of it was YouTube. Most of it was YouTube. There's so much information there. So, if you are by chance, it's going to sound weird, um, if you're interested in getting a bearded dragon, um, leave, you know, your thoughts and what you think in your comments. And, I can help you out on learning, because they are, you don't have to take them outside. I take them outside in summer, so they can get some good UV from the sun. I have a baby pool that I have rocks and pieces of wood and things like that in, and they just love being outside. You go put them on a lawn chair. I don't leash them. I don't like doing that. They're just, I'm afraid that they're gonna escape. So I'm not sure. I don't edit, so I don't know how the beginning and end is gonna go, because I have to reach over and turn my camera off. So I'm afraid to edit now, because I tried it and I erased the whole thing. But I have it, so I should be able to try it. I might try it. I've been thinking about it. So, I hope you enjoyed meeting Sonic. I don't know if she's sleeping. I'll find out. I think she's there. Sure, she's getting there. So I hope you enjoyed my little show and tell. And part of what makes me happy, um, and she does. I wake up in the morning and, I look forward to feeding her and her eating. And when she doesn't eat, I panic. Why aren't you eating? Even though at this age or so, they only have to eat. I don't want my thing to go out again. They only have to eat 2 or 3 times a week. Now, having 4 dogs and 3 cats, they eat every day. So I don't like the idea of not feeding them. I get. So then I just feed them smaller portions, but you couldn't tell that because it still is a pretty good portion. But yeah, this is Sonic, my bearded dragon, and if I wanted to, I could take her places with me, but I like to keep her home where it's warm and where it's safe. The dogs don't bother them. The dogs are fascinated, and because they're prickly, the dogs don't bother them. Same with the cats. The cats just kind of walk by and give them a look, but they don't like pester them or try to bite them or eat them. Beard dragons normally do not bite. If they bite, it's on accident, unless they came from a bad background. But a baby will attempt slash bite. Um, I've never had one bite me until Java. She bit me last week, I think. A hungry baby bearded dragon is your worst nightmare, especially when it comes to her. She runs down her log when she thinks it's time to eat, and she will jump out of her enclosure. So they help with your depression because they do silly things that make you laugh, and that's what they do all the time. And it's great fun having them, and he's talking about getting me a fourth one because he doesn't have anything to do, and he wants to build a cage, another enclosure. And I tell him I have 3. I think 3 is good, but I'm still thinking about that fourth one. They're just so much fun, and like I said, they're basically low maintenance. The higher maintenance part is the feeding and making sure they get proper food. You can buy them powdered food that you don't have to feed them any bugs. It's rapashi, it's called. You just mix it with boiling water, and it looks like jello, and you can feed them that, and you don't have to feed them any bugs. But they can have certain kinds, but this isn't about bearded dragons. This is about, I'm just trying to explain that they aren't as difficult as people think, but they can be. It's how you make it, I guess. I have roaches, dubia roaches. I breed them because they're really expensive, and it takes a really long time for them to grow. So they're very expensive. So I grow my own, and I don't touch the adults. I use rubber gloves, but the babies that I feed, I touch them because they're little. So okay, I just wanted to just share and do a little bit something different, and let you know that you might be alone, but there's something you can do about it. They're relatively cheap. You get their food at the grocery store, unless you get the worms. Then there's websites you can go to that they're not too bad, not too expensive. You can buy food worms by the 100, 25, 50, 75, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 30,000, 50,000. From here to there, as many as you need. Mealworms can last 6 months or more in the refrigerator. They're relatively easy once you get going. It's the startup that's kind of the hard part. So, okay, well, I hope you enjoyed our little show. She's probably sleeping, and she's gonna be mad when I put her back in her container and then put her back in her enclosure, but she'll get over it. They're pretty forgiving. So, and yeah, sometimes they jump off you and hit the floor, but they always bounce back. I sound like such a bad mom. Not really. It just is the way it is, you know, like with anything. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment, like, subscribe, and have a great night.